What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another video. This one, I have a little bit of a unique problem that I personally have that I need to solve. I guess I'll just show it to you. It's probably gonna be easier to explain if I just show it. So, right here is a 1-inch thick 25 by 25 piece of steel that I bought to do stainless TIG art on. I've done a couple stainless TIG arts in the past. It's something that's really fun to do. It also works really good live streaming it. So I've done a couple of those live streams already, and I want to do more. The problem is, this thing is really hard to move by myself. That's why I have it on this cart right here, and I can kind of slide it on and off my table. But this thing, here, look. I don't think this thing wants to hold this too much longer. So, in today's video, I'm gonna build a special cart slash table that I can roll this around, slide it onto this table, slide it onto a future table that I have planned, and also might function as its own standalone table. I have an idea for how I want it to look. I need it to be able to move around easily. I want it to possibly function as its own standalone table where I could weld right on top of it. I want to be able to replace that piece. Since you do have to weld these stainless plates down to it and then cut them off every time, eventually this will wear out, or I might want to flip it over. So it needs to be able to have that function. Like I said, it needs to move, so it needs to have wheels. And instead of doing 4 wheels with locks, I'm gonna do 2 wheels. This is kind of what I'm thinking. If right here is the piece of steel, so that's the plate. We'll build some kind of a track that this can slide into, and then 4 legs. I have 3-inch steel, so we'll go like this, just like a normal table, and put a wheel down here. But on this side, do just a regular leg. And then over here, some kind of a handle. Now with the wheel over here and the solid leg here, when the table's sitting on the ground, it can't move. But if you lift up on the handle, you can move the table around. Now right now, we're just on this flimsy little cart that pretty much just holds my TIG welding rod. Right now the height is right at 39 inches to the top of this. I have future plans for a new welding table, and I think I've settled on a 40-inch top on it. So in case I do want this to be able to slide easily onto that one, I need to build this at 40 inches to the bottom of this plate, making the top of this one 41 inches. So I think that's what I'm gonna go with. Back here, I have some 3x3 square steel, and that's what we're gonna use to pretty much build the entire thing, maybe besides the handle. So let's get cutting that up now. So I mapped everything out here as far as the pieces that I need. In the beginning, I said the total tabletop height will be 41 inches, and I have mentioned I'm going to start using metric, so that's 104.14 centimeters. Okay, well, it might be about time for a new saw, because like what's happened to me before, the back of the saw hits the tubing when it's too tall cutting a 45. I'll be able to cut my straight 90s with the saw still, but as you can see on one side I got about almost all the way through, and the other side pretty close too. So I'm gonna have to finish it off with the Ziz wheel. You can't just flip it and put it back in there because my saw only rotates to 45 the one way. It does not go this way. So when you're like this, you're like obviously like this, but if you flip this whole thing over, then this one is still gonna be on the bottom and this one will still be on the top. It just doesn't work. So I noticed when I threw the square on there that my saw was already starting to cut a little crooked. And since this isn't that thick of steel, I think it's about 83 thousandths, which is 2.11 millimeters, somewhere around there. I'm just gonna cut the rest of these 45 degrees by hand. I think I have 3 more of them, and then I'll cut off the 90s with the saw over there, and then we'll have all of our 3x3s cut up. Okay, all the main components are cut. Now I just have to deburr them and start fitting them together. Well, now we're ready for the part I've kind of been avoiding because my saw does not cut straight unless you're cutting the very first cut on a brand new blade, and then the rest of this stuff I cut by hand. So I don't know, we'll see. Gonna have to do a lot of fit up, I would guess. I'm going to start with the sides. If you can see, it's gonna be like this and like this, and this one will go in between. Well, this one actually fits pretty good. So hopefully the rest of them are like that. So this is what I was talking about with the two different height legs. This one is a little bit shorter to allow room for the caster, and then this one is going to have the adjustable bolt to make up for any leveling differences. And then these are all the cross pieces that'll go in here and then connect each side to each other. All right, now that both the sides are done, it's time to weld in all the cross braces. So there'll be one going here, down there, and then one here and one here. If I was smart, I would have tacked these in at the same time I tacked the front up to keep this from drawing. That's why on this one I went ahead and slid it in here. I didn't have it cleaned up, I got impatient, I wanted to weld it. But yeah, hindsight, next time I do something like this, I'll tack this in to keep this from drawing together when you weld these inside corners. But either way, I have a total of 6 of these cross pieces to weld in, so I'm gonna do that now. All right, now that both sides are welded up, I just wanted to take a second and pause and think about what I'm gonna do next. I'm thinking my best bet is gonna be taking the 4 19-inch pieces, it's a little bit over 48 centimeters long pre-cut pieces, they're just like this, and figuring out where I'm gonna put them, tacking them, taking the other complete side, putting it on, tacking it all together, making sure it's all square, and then welding it up. I think that's gonna be the best bet going forward. I also wanted to take a second right now and thank this video's sponsor, which is Everlast Welders. Right now I'm using the PowerTig 255 EXT, which has been a workhorse of a machine, offers anything you pretty much would need in a TIG welding machine, has AC, DC, pulse, all kinds of adjustability, has a memory built in. It's overkill for what we're doing right now on this thin material, but gives us a lot of headroom for future projects. I like Everlast a lot because they offer machines in a wide range for pretty much any budget. And if you head over to everlastwelders.com and pick out a machine that comes with a foot pedal standard, you can actually use promo code VOSS at checkout, or right now put it in the description box on checkout, and you will get a free Nova foot pedal and torch upgrade. So that's a pretty cool offer from them. I will leave a link to Everlast down below and to the exact machine I'm using today. Thanks again to Everlast for sponsoring this video. Now let's get to tacking this stuff all together. So when I just tacked all these up, I've mentioned before that my saw doesn't quite cut straight, plus I cut some of these by hand, so I knew these weren't perfect. I actually made a whole video on welding up a little small gap in thin sheet metal. I'll link that up here. It might be up here. It's somewhere up here. And I use that to my advantage right now. I made sure that if they were gonna be leaning at all, that they were all leaning towards the center. That way I could tack just a big heavy tack on the outer edge of all these. That way when I set this on here in a second, I know if anything, they're gonna have to lean out. But if it was the other way and I tack the outside and say they had to lean in, then you're trying to pull the tack up. So now I have a little bit of flexibility. I am probably gonna cause some small gaps by doing it this way, but I just feel like this is the fastest way to get it done. All right, well that was a good bit of welding, but that's all knocked out. The PowerTig 255 EXT handled that all nicely. But moving on, we're going to turn this 1/2-inch bolt into a table leg. It will go on these two longer sections. Put a plate on the end, weld a nut, then the leg will be able to thread in and out and have a little bit of adjustability for uneven floors. If you want to see me turn this into a table leg in a little bit more detail, I made a longer video on that. I'll link it up here, but that's what will go down here on these longer legs. And then the shorter ones, we need to make a plate for these two wheels. I had a set of caster wheels. One of the caster wheels actually broke. So I just have these two non-turning wheels, which will be perfect for this table. They will mount right here, the leg down here, then we'll put a handle and you'll be able to lift up the leg side and move the table around just on these two wheels. So that's what I'm gonna do next. Okay, now my plan is to slide the big plate on here and slip the tracks up under it and then tack them down to here. That way it just keeps everything nice and square as far as the tracks are concerned, just in case this isn't perfect. You know, I didn't really clamp this down when I welded it, so that if I put a handle on this side, I'll actually be able to use it like a hand truck. That way I can put the stops for the slides on this side for when it leans back, and I can bring it up to the table and then slide it off onto the table. Well, there it is, little purpose-built stainless TIG art welding table. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'll probably do some welding right at it and see how that works, and then it also has the benefit of being able to slide this piece off onto the main welding table. My current welding table is a little low for this, but this will line up nicely with a future planned welding table. But now that this is built, I'm definitely gonna be doing some more of that TIG art. That's kind of what I had planned for doing some live streams, TIG art related live streams. I really like chilling and relaxing and welding and hanging out, talking to chat. So if you're not subscribed and you wanna see any of that, please do hit the notification bell and you'll know when I go live, if you're interested in that at all. I wanna thank Everlast for their continued support of the channel. The PowerTIG 255 performed beautifully on this job. If you're in the market for a welding machine and you check out everlastwelders.com and you find one that comes standard with a foot pedal and torch, you can use promo code VOSS at checkout or in their comment section. and you'll receive an upgrade on those items. I don't receive a kickback from that. It just kind of lets them know where you heard about them. If you're new here, I make welding and fabrication videos here on YouTube. If you want to check out more, you can try this one right here. I hope you stick around and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.